Does your car have that saggy bottom disease where it just has that give that doesn't stop giving? Well, this 2001 Buick Park Avenue does. The air ride suspension has a blown airbag. So we're gonna go ahead and change those shocks today. So we're gonna jack up the side first that we're gonna change. And I went ahead and put a jack stand underneath as well as an added precaution. And as an extra precaution, I did 20 sit-ups this morning, so I will be ready to just hold that car up if it falls on me. But now it's time to take off the wheel. You could do it without taking off the wheel maybe, but it'd be a lot harder to do. It's a pretty tight space in there, so I'm gonna go ahead and take off the wheel. I'll use a flat-headed screwdriver just to pull off that plastic cap, like that. Now it's time to get them nuts off. So the problem is this airbag here is blown out. There's a couple little holes in it and stuff, but you can tell it's just shot. It needs changed. The shock does, so that's what we're gonna do. So once I take this shock off, the only thing that'll be holding up the rotor and everything here is this coil spring, and so I'm gonna go ahead and block up the rotor and arm here, so that way the coil spring don't stretch too much the other way while I take the shock off. So there's this little load sensor back here too, that if this A-arm drops down too much, just hanging onto that coil spring, that little arm there can break off. Alright, so to hold this A-arm up, I'm just gonna use a bottle jack and use that to prop the A-arm up there. So now at the top of the shock, there's this air line that clips on with this little clip here. We'll just get that clip off and the line pulls right off like that. And what I did to get that clip off is I just took the pliers, and there's a little loop there. You can just pinch that loop and it opens up like that. Now it's time to take off the top of the shock, and we'll have to go into the trunk to do that. Alright, so let's pull back the liner here so that we can get to that bolt. And be careful with the fuel. Little pull cord there, and then the plastic over there that's attached to the liner. Alright, so what we want is this top middle nut here off. That's what holds the shock in. It takes a 15mm socket. So there's a nut and a cup washer that comes off of there. Alright, so now I'm going to take a 10mm socket to get off the bottom of this shock. So now you can just compress the shock down. And it just comes out like that. So here's what our old shock looked like. We're going to put our new shock together the same way. So on the underneath of the car, or not in the trunk, there's this bottom cup washer. So we're going to do the same thing on this one. And then on the inside of the trunk, we had the other cup washer facing that way and the nut on top. And so we'll do the same thing on this. We also need to switch over these two little clip nuts. Alright, we're ready to go. So our old one had the airline pointing back that way, so we're going to do the same thing with the new one. We'll feed it up through the hole to the trunk. And then we're going to put the washer in there, in the trunk, then put the nut on. This nut here happens to actually be a 17 millimeter because of the brand that I bought, but we'll cinch that up. Alright, now that you have the nut tied up there, you can put this cap back on, and there's one side that says out. It'll point towards the outside of the car. Then we can put this liner back up, and once you're done with that, now we can put this airline back on top. And do not forget to put that clip back on. Slides on and it should click when it's on all the way. Like that. Make sure it won't slide off. Alright, that's good. Now we can tighten up these 10 millimeter bolts down here. And then you can go ahead and put your wheel on and pull your jack stand out. Then all you got to do is pull your jack out, move around to the other side, and change that shock the same way that you changed this last one. Thanks for watching.